Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Assembly. How are you all this morning? I hope you're doing really well. I'm feeling a little bit cold today. I've got my jacket on in the house and I'm kind of cozied into this cushion here. I definitely think summer is behind us and autumn is on its way here. Saying that, it is September now, it's a brand new month. I think maybe summer is over, pains me to say. So to kind of cheer us all up this morning, I'd like to show you a picture of a rainbow because, well, who doesn't smile when they see a rainbow in the sky? I love rainbows, do you? They're so beautiful and bright, and they are known all over the world as a sign of hope and promise, a sign that good things are on their way. Now, a rainbow appears in the sky when it is sunny and it's raining at the same time. And I like to think of it as a clear sign that the sunshine always comes out after the rain. And life can be a bit like that. We can go through times when it feels a bit rough, it's not so good, it feels like it's rainy, but good times are always on their way. And that's what I always think about when I see a rainbow. I wonder if you recognise this picture. It's a picture from the story Noah's Ark, which is a story from the Bible, and in the picture you can see a beautiful rainbow is decorating the sky. In this story, Noah built an ark because there was a huge flood on the earth, and he kept snug and warm and safe inside the ark with all of his family and all of the animals. And when the flood was over, a massive rainbow filled up the sky, and this is why the rainbow is known as a symbol of hope and peace and that good things are on their way. I know that during lockdown lots of you were drawing beautiful pictures of rainbows and putting them up inside your windows or maybe inside your cars, and this was a sign that you were supporting our wonderful NHS who did so much good work to help people who were ill with coronavirus. And the rainbow was chosen as a symbol of peace and of love and of hope for a brighter future. The perfect picture to be putting in our windows during such a difficult time. I would like to introduce you to a very well-known figure called Desmond Tutu. Now, Desmond Tutu was born in South Africa. South Africa was a country where people were treated differently depending upon the colour of their skin. In South Africa, there was a system called apartheid, where people were kept separate depending upon the colour of their skin. Desmond Tutu often used pictures of a rainbow to stand for a new beginning, a new hope, and a better way of living for all the people in South Africa. One day he said to his people, "Look at your hands, different colours for different people. We are the rainbow people, and rainbow people work together to make South Africa the very best place it can be. We are a rainbow nation. We are the rainbow people." Desmond Tutu was an amazing person. He made such a big difference to so many people, and South Africa is a much fairer and much more equal place to live now, and a lot of it is down to the work that he did. Desmond Tutu noticed that there was something not right, something that didn't feel right, something that made him uncomfortable, and he decided that he was going to stand up and do something about that. He was going to say something, he was going to try to make a positive change. What a fantastic and inspirational man. As I said last week, we are going to spend a little bit of time in Assembly each week thinking about what it means to be a really effective member of a team. If you remember, we spoke about how we're all part of a team in our house, within our family, we're all part of a team within our class, and we're all part of a much bigger team, which is the Laurencekirk school team. Every week we're going to think about what we can do to make sure that we are an excellent member of all of those teams and help each of those teams to just be the best they possibly can be. So, to get us thinking a bit about that today, I am going to share a story with you. And this story is called The Rainbow People. The Rainbow People. In the beginning, the world was very still and quiet. The ground seemed to be covered with dull-coloured rocks and stones. But if you took a closer look, you could see that they were not stones, but were tiny people who were not moving at all. One day, a wind blew over the land. It warmed the people and filled them with life and with love. They began to move, to look at each other, to touch each other, to speak to each other, to care about each other. As they explored their world, they found coloured ribbons lying on the ground and up in the trees. They were excited and ran about collecting them. Some chose blue, some red, some green, some yellow. They enjoyed tying the ribbons round each other and laughing at the bright colours. Suddenly, another wind blew. This time, it made the people shiver with cold. They looked at each other, realised they looked different, and stopped trusting each other. The reds gathered together and ran into a corner. The blues gathered together and ran into a corner. The greens gathered together and ran into a corner. The yellows gathered together and ran into a corner. They forgot that they had been friends and had cared for each other. The other colours just seemed different and strange. They built walls to separate themselves and keep the others out. But they found that the reds had water, but no food. The blues had food, but no water. The greens had twigs to make fire, but no shelter. And the yellows had shelter, but nothing to keep them warm. Suddenly, a stranger appeared and stood in the centre of the land. He looked at the people and the walls separating them in amazement and said loudly, "Come on out, everybody! What are you afraid of? Let's talk to each other." The people peeped out at him and slowly came out of their corners into the centre. The stranger said, "Why don't you put together what you have and share it? Then you can all have enough to eat and drink, keep warm and have shelter." They talked and the feeling of love returned. They remembered that they had been friends. They knocked down the walls and welcomed each other as old friends. When they realised that the colours had divided them, they wanted to throw them away, but they knew that they would miss the richness of the bright colours. So instead, they mixed the colours to make a beautiful rainbow ribbon, and they called themselves the Rainbow People. The rainbow ribbon became their symbol of peace. The end. There are lots of things that we could learn from the Rainbow People story about what it means to be a good member of a team. What I find interesting is that the Rainbow People were all really solid together as a team in the beginning. They worked really well together, and then they had a bit of a falling out. They ran into some difficulties. They went their separate ways and they stopped talking. They stopped communicating with each other. They stopped listening to each other. Now, when you're part of a team in your class or in your school, things are going to go wrong. You are going to have difficulties with the other people in your team. But boys and girls, it's really important to keep talking, keep communicating, keep listening, even when things are tricky with the other members of your team. I do think we can learn about being an effective team member from thinking about Desmond Tutu as well. Because what Desmond Tutu did was he noticed that there's something wasn't right. He felt that there was something wrong, and he didn't just stand by and ignore it. He stood up, he said something, he took an action, and he believed that he could make a difference. And boys and girls, what I want you to know is that you can make a difference, that your voice does matter as well. And if you see something and it doesn't look right and it doesn't feel right, don't be frightened to stand up and say something about that. Come and speak to an adult. Never ever believe that you can't make a difference, because you absolutely can. We're going to finish up assembly today with a song, and because we've been thinking about rainbows, we've had Noah's Ark, we've had the NHS rainbows, we've had Desmond Tutu's Rainbow Nation, there's been a bit of a rainbow theme going on. I can't resist leaving assembly without a rainbow song. So boys and girls, I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you all next week. Bye!
Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. I can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too.
Rouge et jaune et rose et vert, violet, orange et bleu. Je chante les couleurs de l'arc-en-ciel, chantez avec moi.
Listen with your eyes, and sing everything you see. I can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow, sing along with me.
Écoute avec les yeux, et chante tout ce que tu vois. Je chante les couleurs de l'arc-en-ciel, chantez avec moi.
Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. I can sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow, sing a rainbow too.
Rouge et jaune et rose et vert, violet, orange et bleu. Je chante les couleurs de l'arc-en-ciel, chantez avec moi.